Welcome back to another video. Today we talking about who up next in the anime circle, and of course, this is a different series, of course. Solo Leveling up next. I'm not finna lie to you. Solo Leveling, we know Jin Woo had a breakout with its anime being released this year, and of course sprung more and more eyes as many more people was waiting for a Solo Leveling manga anime, as they thought the anime would never happen because of the web novel and the contents of what the web novel has seen. Of course, I haven't read the web novel. I've always heard about Solo Leveling through word of mouth. I don't plan to read the web novel, but if this gets, say, 10 likes, I'll read the web novel. I'm not I'm not far-fetched, but 10 likes, I'll read the web novel. Anyway, so Leveling, the story about Jin Woo, about him being the weak. It's very generic, about him being the weakest, eventually having to climb his way all the way to the top, inherently using his power of the shadows. With that, he is able to unlock secret dungeons and basically reborn as a player, where he gets status screens, where he has to work out, fulfill challenges to build his body eventually. And of course, I know a little bit of information about why he has to train so much, why he has to have the Shadow Army, about why he has to be so much physically strong to eventually inherit the title and inherit the power of the Shadow Monarch, which is phenomenal. In the case, he has to face the creator, or the creator of the world at the middle or the end of the show, because right now they're on the sequel show of him and his son. Well, just his son. Jin Woo's out there fighting anybody he comes across because, come on, Solo Leveling. Of course, as we see him level up, we see him go through tribulations, of course, of him being the weakest. I'm not lying to you, it's generic, but we get to see if the animation hits, it's good, and it's only up next because we eat it up. The started from the bottom, now it hit kind of story, as we see Fire Force, Black Clover, My Hero. We see all these heroes struggle and then eventually go to the top. So we see Jin Woo basically start out like Rimuru. He's basically weak, but then the more he learns, the more he levels up, the more people he becomes friends with, the more he builds his Shadow Army, as we see at the end of the show. At the end of the episodes, he is able to gain a general in Igris, which is fire, with a rise. Oh, that's why? I'm sorry, motorcycle outside. Fire. Like, we get to see a lot more of what is in the web novel, of what we like it, and it's not a hit or miss. There is nothing special about Solo Leveling, and that's what makes it special. It doesn't try to be something else. It doesn't do anything else to really liven it up. It is just a simple power fantasy, and we are going to sit there and watch him beat the brakes off of everyone he comes across with. Like, I can't wait for Beirut to be eventually introduced. I think that will be the next arc, and of course him building his Shadow Army will, of course, that's what we will see in the next coming arcs, of course. Now within that, we get to see him fight stronger thing. It is a simple power fantasy, and it's only up next because it will be the power fantasy of the decade. At least of this decade. I think it will end around the 2030s, because we know how long animation takes, and we need to show love for it. I think it'll end around like 2032, which is crazy to say, but yeah, it's a simple power fantasy. It doesn't try to do much. It doesn't play into much. It is basically him struggling to be the top and eventually losing himself, climbing to the top. We get to see cold moments as he gets to be an assassin. He gets to gain all these skills: cloud step, flash step, copy skills evenly, right? But we enjoy his story, we enjoy everything, but what we're watching it for is the fight scenes, because I promise you if solo leveling were to come out with some like some Seven Deadly Sins animation, everyone's dropping the show. And that's only because nothing draws us in more to solo leveling rather than it being a power fantasy. There's nothing else special about it. You could get the same generic concept of solo leveling elsewhere, right? But since solo leveling has such an interesting power system along with that, and such an I wouldn't say an interesting character, because Jinwoo is just basically becoming Sasuke, but you're interested in Jinwoo becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. Like, you're interested in all of this. But it's a simple power fantasy, and it's only up next because we're gonna eat it up, and we're gonna hold it in high regard when Solo Leveling Season 2 eventually drops. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.